All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. Ty Davis Price is an Eagle, and we'll talk about it next. And, of course, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Get the brisket chili. Say hi to Damon and Mary. Tell them that Larry Krueger sent you. We're also brought to you by Marin Auto Glass, 415-883-3030, marinautoglass.com. And this month we have two of our new sponsors, valleyhillroofing.net. They're at 209-481-6851. Definitely a great roofing contractor. If you're looking to put on a new roof, go check them out online, valleyhillroofing.net. They cover all of Northern California. They're a Go Green contractor. And Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles. They're in Pacific Grove. Call Anthony Catania, 831-521-5264, and both those links are listed in the description. All right, a little 49er update today. Ty Davis Price, 49ers third-round draft choice, number 93 overall in the 2022 draft, is now a Philadelphia Eagle. The Niners invested third-round picks in back-to-back seasons on running backs, and neither made an impact, and both moved on to the Eagles, shockingly. And today it's Ty Davis Price, third-round pick in 2022. He signs a deal to go to the Eagles, and the Niners also drafted Trey Sermon in the third round of the 2021 draft, and then they cut him at the end of training camp in 2022, and the Eagles claimed him off waivers. So Ty Davis Price, 93rd pick overall, appeared in just 7 games for the 49ers. And got beat out by an undrafted rookie in Jordan Mason, who beat him out for playing time in the rookie seasons. And then he fell further down the depth chart when the Niners traded for Christian McCaffrey. So Ty Davis Price, quiet kid, former LSU player, had an amazing college day against Florida where he ran for 287 yards for the LSU Tigers. But his career with the 49ers consisted of 120 rushing yards and no touchdowns on 40 rushing attempts. The Niners waived him on December 5th to create space on the 53-man roster to sign Logan Ryan. And then when he cleared waivers, the Niners re-signed him to the practice squad, and he spent the rest of the season on the practice squad. And, you know, the Niners have just gotten very little or nothing at all out of most of the running backs they've drafted since 2017. They drafted Joe Williams, remember that name, selected in the 4th round of 2017. He never appeared in a regular season game. Elijah Mitchell has been the best draft pick among the running backs. He was a 6th-round pick in 2021, led the team in rushing as a rookie. He's been a solid backup behind CMC, but he's struggled to get on the field and stay on the field due to injuries. And then Trey Sermon's tenure with the 49ers was very short. He only played 9 games, had 167 yards and a touchdown in 41 rushing attempts, and then played just 2 games for the Eagles in 2022 and moved on to the Colts last season. He had 35 carries for 160 yards for Indy and appeared in 14 games. Currently on the Niner roster, the only running backs they have are McCaffrey, Mitchell, and Mason. They will be probably adding another runner. But there's a bigger story at work here, and that is the 49ers have done free agency incredibly well. The 49ers have done day 3 of the draft incredibly well. The 49ers have done undrafted free agents incredibly well. But if the 49ers want to contend for a Super Bowl going forward, they're going to have to get it going on day 1 and 2 of the draft. They're not hitting at a very high clip with these picks. In the last 3 years, the 49ers have had 9 picks, 9, in the 2nd and 3rd rounds, what we call day 2 of the draft. Day 1 is round 1. Day 3 is rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7. Day 2 is round 2 and 3. You're supposed to hit in rounds 2 and 3. The 49ers have had 9 selections in day 2 of the draft, rounds 2 and 3, and they've only really hit on a couple of them. Really, they've whiffed on a bunch of 2nd and 3rd round picks in the last 3 years, and they've got to get that going better than what it's going right now. I mean, think about it. 9 guys. Who are the real wins from round 2 and 3 over the last 3 drafts? Aaron Banks, starting left guard, looks fantastic. Probably going to play a decade in the NFL. He's really good. Banks was a good pick. Didn't play well as a rookie, but is a starter now at left guard and is a foundation piece. And Aaron Banks is an absolute foundation piece of this football team going forward. Terrific draft choice. Jair Brown had an interception in the Super Bowl and kind of showed this year that, man, he's a player. Whether it be at free safety and he's covering the deep middle, or in the cover 1, in the cover 3, or if he's a box safety and he's going to play with somebody who, somebody else is going to play the deep middle and he's going to play in the box. He's good against the run. He's good against the pass. I would imagine he's going to play free safety and Hufanga is going to play strong safety when everybody's healthy. But Hufanga may not be healthy at the start of this year. So we'll have to see how this thing goes. And I don't know about the future of Tayshaun Gibson. But so the wins, the overwhelming wins for the 49ers in the last, 3 drafts in the second and third round are Aaron Banks and Jair Brown. They have 7 what I would call either losses or TBD, to be determined. Trey Sermon, that's a loss. Drake Jackson, I love Drake Jackson, but he had 3 sacks in week 1 against the Steelers, and that was it. That was a wrap on the year, and he was hurt. Danny Gray has not been able to get on the field in a couple years now. He's just always hurt. He's fast. He's got ball skills. Can't get on the field. Ty Davis Price. Ty Davis Price, we just talked about. He's got some talent. There's no question he's got a little talent. Hardworking guy. John Lynch said he was first guy in the locker room a lot this summer in the offseason. But he hasn't been able to break through. He's not as good as McCaffrey. There's no crime in that. But he's also not as good as Mitchell or Mason. So he's very much a question mark. Cam Latu had a miserable summer, terrible in the preseason, dropping all kinds of passes. Luckily got hurt and redshirted this year. But, I mean, he's a bust until he's not. And right now he's a bust. Jake Moody. Now, he did make a couple of long kicks in the Super Bowl, but he's also missed some kicks. I think he's kind of a TBD at this point. And then so's Ambry Thomas. Ambry Thomas has had some highlight reel moments, but he's also had some moments where he was the GOAT, and I don't mean in a good way. So 9 picks in the second and third round in the last 3 drafts. You're averaging 3 picks per year in the last 3 years on day 2. And you've hit with Banks and Brown, and you've missed with Sermon, TDP, Cam Latu, and then you've got Drake Jackson, Jake Moody, and Ambry Thomas that are kind of question marks. So that's it right there. I mean, if the 49ers are going to hold off Detroit and Green Bay in the conference, if the 49ers are going to run with Kansas City and Baltimore, and contend for Super Bowls, they have to hit in round 2 and round 3. You got to find starters, big-time players, foundation pieces. Aaron Banks, foundation piece. Jair Brown, foundation piece. The other 7 guys, we don't know. We don't know. And that's a problem. So, on this day today with the update with Ty Davis Price jumping to the Eagles, just another swing and a miss on a running back, but just more importantly, another swing and a miss in round 2 of the draft, or in day 2 of the draft, I should say. Or technically, I guess, round 3. The Niners have to hit on day 2 of the NFL draft. They're going to hold off. I mean, Gutekunst is a really good GM. Howie Roseman is a really good GM. Brad, what's his name from Detroit? Really good GM. They've got a bunch. There's a bunch of really, Eric DaCosta, really good GM. These teams are coming, and they're not going to miss in round 2 and round 3. So the 49ers, they've had their misses. They've hit on 2. They've missed or TBD'd on 7 others in the second and third round, they have to hit on day 2 of the draft. I mean, we could put it in a nutshell. You got to hit on day 1 too. They've traded a bunch of those picks for Trey Lance. During this regime, they've drafted guys like Mike McGlinchey, like Reuben Foster, Solomon Thomas. I mean, the bigger story is the Niners got to hit on day 1 and 2 of the draft. They're hitting on day 3. They're hitting after the draft. They're maximizing the free agent window and letting guys walk and taking comp picks, and they're playing that thing to a fiddle. I mean, like a fiddle. I mean, they're just absolutely doing everything right. They gotta hit in rounds 1, 2, and 3, and so far they're not. They're not hitting enough. And if they really want to win a Super Bowl, they want to continue to hold off Detroit and Green Bay, they better start hitting on day 1 and day 2 of the NFL draft, or Detroit and Green Bay and Baltimore and Kansas City and Miami and a couple other teams. Rams are going right on by. So you want to say what's the key to the 49ers' success going forward? They have their quarterback of the future. They got him. His name's Brock Purdy. They'll pick a defensive coordinator. They'll get that thing going. They got to hit on Thursday and Friday of the NFL draft. And this year, that means April 25th and April 26th, John Lynch, this time without Adam Peters, has got to hit on day 1 and day 2 of the draft, or the Niners are not going to be a Super Bowl contender. All right, thanks to everybody. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor, and thanks to our other sponsors, and thanks to all of you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.